Well, welcome back to Tech Tips, Fixes and More. My name's Ron, and today we're going to be looking at an electric guitar. I think this problem is probably going to be a fairly simple one to fix, but who knows with these things. And here it is. It's a Epiphone Gibson copy. Very nice guitar, a little bit on the heavy side, but it's in really good shape. It's pretty new, and the customer, who's a friend of mine, actually says that he's having a problem with the selector switch for the pickups, and he says that when he switches that up to the rhythm pickup, sometimes it cuts out after a little while, but it will come back when you switch it back and forth. So I think it's probably a fairly straightforward thing. We've got to get at it. It's a little bit of a trick to get in there, but there is a little access panel here to get in to look at the switch itself, and that's probably where we're going to have to go to start with. But I'm going to hook it up to an amp and just make sure that what he has been experiencing is still happening, and we'll go from there. So here is the guitar on my bench. This is a nice guitar, and I didn't want to do any damage to it, so I put down a blanket, and I've got this little styrofoam support just to keep the neck supported. And then we've got our connector over here, so I'm going to plug that in. And I've just got that connected into a little test amp that I use here, and it's connected up to a small speaker, but I find this to be handy, and I can usually do as much testing as necessary with this little unit. That's both pickups. Here's the treble pickup. To be working right now. There sounds like there's a bit of noise in that switch. So far, I'm not getting it to cut out though, but he did say that he would use it for a while and then it would cut out. Okay, so I'm going to take that cover off the back and see if I can see what's happening in there. There's the back side of that switch. I'm going to try and inspect those solder joints first just to see whether they look good. It's always hard to do this in give you a good shot of it while I'm doing it because my head tends to get in the way, but we'll see what we can do here. Okay, so I've taken this switch out, and I'm going to just try and clean up these contacts a little bit. This is just a little bit of a abrasive contact cleaning tool. And what's nice about this switch is that the contacts are actually accessible for this. It means that they can probably oxidize a little more easily than in some situations, but it certainly makes it easier to access them. Don't want to overdo this because it is abrasive and it's going to wear a little bit on those contacts. I have sprayed these already, but after cleaning them like that, I think I'm going to just give them a little shot. Okay, that crackling you're hearing there is because of my fingers touching the ground. I probably need to plug this into an amp to be really sure about whether that's an issue. And I'm going to have to reinstall this to really find out whether that's helped the crackling. There's probably a special tool for tightening up these knurled nuts, and I don't have one. This works, but a person wants to be extremely careful. You don't want to slip off. Still some crackling there. I'm going to try that with an amplifier and just see if it So I haven't been able to find a clear indication of where the problem is coming from, or that there even is a problem yet. But and looking at the solder joints inside the cavity where the pots are, the solder joints don't look like they're that good. It's a little hard to see from this angle, but they're not as shiny as you would expect or hope for a good solder joint. It's rare that you will find a cold solder joint that'll actually cut in and out, but it does happen. So I'm going to use some flux and apply it to these and just reheat these solder joints just to make sure. I should say that the solder joints where the ground wires are connected to the chassis of the pots and all that, they actually look very good. They're quite shiny, and I don't suspect a problem with them. But some of the solder joints on the actual leads of the pots, they did look a little gray, dull color. And that sometimes indicates a problem with the cold solder joint. Now there's also the possibility that these connectors in here, we've got a connector from each of the pickups and also between the switch and the wiring in here. And these connectors could conceivably have dirty contacts. Not very likely, but it doesn't hurt to give them a little shot of contact cleaner as well. I did try to wiggle them and see if there was any sign that they were intermittent, and no evidence of that. Of course, I've managed to get a bit of contact cleaner on the guitar. I need to clean that up a bit. So just to summarize what I'd done to this point, having checked out the switch and cleaned it with a burnishing tool and by spraying it with contact cleaner, and checking the solder joints on that switch and on the pots and other parts, inside the control area. And I actually cleaned the pots as well, although I don't think I got that on video. I cleaned the connectors as well, and then in between each time I would test the guitar and test the switch. And what I eventually realized was that there was just a slight click happening. Even after cleaning those contacts and everything, when I would switch from one mode to the other, there would be a click, and that shouldn't happen. A guitar player certainly doesn't want to hear pops and clicks in their amp when they switch over from, let's say, playing a rhythm part to a song and going into a lead solo, which is the kind of thing that you might do going from the neck pickup to the bridge pickup. So I had to come to the conclusion that probably there was a problem with that switch that was not being taken care of by cleaning it. So I decided to look for a replacement switch, and checked out some local music stores, and I checked out Amazon. And what I found was that Amazon was carrying actual replacement switches for these particular guitars. And there were two different kinds. There was the old kind, like what was in there, the open switch that they're kind of a tried and true switch, but I actually did a little research online, and lots of people have had problems with noise in those switches. And so what's happened is they've come up with some improved versions of those switches where the contacts are enclosed, so there's less chance of them oxidizing or getting dirty. And I found a switch specifically for this application that was an enclosed switch, and it wasn't very expensive. It was about $15 or $20. And so ordered it up. I was able to get it in 2 days. And when it came in, I proceeded to install it in the guitar and do some testing. This tip is not really big enough for this particular part of the job. I'm desoldering from a fairly large metal tab, and I should have a bigger tip, but being it's just one solder joint, I guess I will make it work. I don't hear any switching noise, which I will consider a win. This switch comes with a spare knob that is a different color, so you actually two of them. It comes with the washer, a nut, and I used the old nut because it's a knurled one, and I think that looks better. It's more original. And it comes with two of these knobs for the top, a white one, a cream one, and then the black one that was on it. The customer can decide. Also comes with a nice little pick, a musiclily.com pick. But anyways, I will give the customer the switch, or the knob. I'll put on the one that was the same color as what came off it. And then we'll put the cover back on. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time now that I've got it together, make sure that everything is right. So I guess that wraps this one up. Again, it was interesting that in this particular project, even though it wasn't a super complex or deep technical subject, that again, using the internet to do some searching for information and for parts, and finding out the best way to go for replacing things was very useful in solving some of the challenges, and it speeds it up a lot. I've also been using some artificial intelligence agents that have really made it easier to get the context of various things. Now, a lot of people certainly worry about AI, but any new technology could be abused, I suppose. But I am finding that for my purposes, in research and understanding and finding answers, it's been quite useful already. So that's been an interesting development as well. So I think we'll wrap this one up at that. I thank you for joining me. Thank you for my friend that brought the guitar over. I really enjoyed working on this. And also, if any of you would give me a like, that would be always good, and a subscribe. We're just trying to kind of widen the coverage of the channel. So always appreciate your input and comments as well. So if you'd like to leave me a comment, that would be great. So more videos coming out soon. Have some things in the work that sound interesting, and hopefully we'll get those pulled together and to you very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.